Hello and welcome to TD Box. I'm Chowba Dream, and this is my look at the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which got announced a few days back now, but I'm talking about it now. So, this is completely built from the ground up. This is a completely new engine. This has been in development for 5 years now, which is fantastic news to hear because I've truly wanted a Call of Duty to be built on a proper new engine for a while now. I'm not sure if this is an in-house engine or if this is just a current engine on the market right now, which could be Unreal Engine 4, which they've not announced yet. Maybe it's a modified version of that, we don't know. But I'm expecting if this is on the Unreal Engine 4, it could be a tie-in with the Epic Store on the PC version. So some really interesting things about this though, and we're going to get into that while we discuss. So obviously being built on a new engine, this is really good. This means that we'll finally get a visually impressive Call of Duty once again, which has been a long time waiting really. None of the Call of Duties have really impressed me since Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 back in the day was a really impressive looking game, but ever since that they've all kind of looked the same in my opinion. Nothing really groundbreaking, definitely not on the scale of say Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 visually. So we can it's a matter of opinion, but honestly Battlefield's just looked a hell of a lot better, being the fact it's on a newer up-to-date engine. So yeah, really good news for Call of Duty for that. And another really big plus as well, this is in terms of the story mode. This is going to be basically a lot more realistic. There's going to be a horrific horror side to what war truly is. So we're not going to see the Russians in this game. This will be a complete reimagining of the Modern Warfare series. So we'll see how that plays. I'm not sure who we're going to be fighting, but it's probably going to be the US and the UK versus like your kind of guerrilla fighters, kind of terrorists in that aspect. That's pretty much what's going to be going on there, I'm sure. We'll have to wait and see. But like I say, we're going to see massive set pieces going off here from what we can see in the trailer. This trailer doesn't really show off the gameplay though. There's no actual gameplay shown off here in your own perspective of what you'll actually see when playing. This is a heavily kind of built trailer. It's kind of unfortunate because everything's just going on so quick, so you can't really appreciate the visuals too much, which is unfortunate. There's just too much going on, too many cuts here and there. But if you slow it down, you'll definitely be able to see that. But it's just a shame we didn't really get to see anything too big a scale in terms of the visuals, because it was a very quick trailer. But it's nice to see they're going with photorealism as well. So these are basically high quality photos which they've scouted around the world and took photos of certain buildings and textures and all that stuff to implement them into the game to make the game look as realistic in terms of the materials and environments. So pretty much every object in the game around is basically from real life photos, and they basically wrap those textures of the photo around the vehicles and weapons and environments. So this is going to be the best looking Call of Duty today. There's no doubt about that. It does look quite impressive from what we can see. I do get a glimpse of COD 4 there. They're reimagining that kind of game, which is fine. I'm okay with a Modern Warfare game, but I feel the naming of this was a bad choice as well, because there's going to be parents out there which get confused and accidentally buy the old original Modern Warfare for their kids, and there's going to be some kids that are upset. But honestly, this is a more gritty Call of Duty. We've not had a gritty Call of Duty since like World at War, in my opinion. You could say Black Ops as well. Black Ops was quite gritty and brutal. But I feel World at War was the most bloody game in my opinion. It was a really good story as well in that. I really enjoyed that game in the campaign mode. I felt it was stronger than COD 4 in some aspects in the campaign. And yeah, so we'll get that gritty, horrifying side of war, which is cool. This game will be cross-platform, which is fantastic news. So basically, console and PC will be able to play against each other if they want to. I'm hoping there's a kind of option to, even on PC side as well. I don't tend to enjoy playing console players at times because I don't know. It just in terms of Rocket League anyway. I just don't feel there's the same kind of skill level there in a lot of aspects. I'm not saying console players are bad at gaming, but there's a difference between keyboard and mouse and controller. But in terms of Rocket League, it's controller anyway. But it's just I've got a higher frame rate, so I'm definitely seeing and having a much better precision than console players are. So that I feel like I'm an advantage, and then they're not as good an advantage as me, so they're not reacting to the ball as quick as I am. So that's where I get that sort of thing there. And with this being a shooter, this is gonna be a problem to some people when PC players are basically stomping the average console player. But then again, console players, if you've got a really good console player, they'll definitely be the average PC player. There's no doubt about that. Not everyone on PC is good at shooters, and there is a lot of casual PC shooter players out there. So it's one of those things. It's kind of I would say it's a 60-40 advantage on PC side in terms of that. I'm just pulling that from nowhere really, but that's what I feel. That's kind of the difference there. So if there's an option for PC players to allow to play with console or not, that's great. And if there's the option for consoles to basically say, do you want to play with PC players or not, that's great. But will there also be an option where Xbox and PlayStation players sort of have the option to play or not play with each other? That would be interesting, but I'm sure they'll just want to play with each other anyway, as I'm sure some people have an Xbox and others have a PlayStation, and they don't have the funds to basically get the other system. So there's that sort of aspect as well. So it's great. Giving everyone the choice to play the game on what platform they prefer is fantastic. And even having them able to play with each other over multiple networks is fine as well. Fantastic news. And that's a big plus in my opinion. Really, really good stuff. So coming back to the graphic side of things, this game will support 4K HDR. It'll also support ray tracing on the PC only though for the ray tracing, as the consoles don't have the graphic capabilities or even the current generation of graphic technology to achieve that. So yeah, no ray tracing for console, but there will be on the PC side. But with this being a multiplayer game as well, I very much doubt the ray tracing is going to be a decent frame rate to justify using ray tracing. In terms of the campaign mode, if it's 60 plus, that's okay, that's feasible, that's fine. But when you come into a competitive multiplayer, it's not going to be the same. It's like Battlefield 5. As soon as you turn ray tracing on, you're losing about 40 to maybe 100 frames in certain aspects of your frame rate. So it's really unjustified, and it's not worth it. The ray tracing is not worth it. And honestly, when you're in a multiplayer for shooting game, you don't really take into consideration certain things like puddles and that. You're not really bothered about puddles. You're fighting, just trying to kill the enemy is your main aspect point, and that's what you're going to go for. You're going to try and take out the enemy. You're not going to care about if a puddle is like reflecting, actually giving a reflection of your weapon or your soldier. You're not going to be really bothered about that. It's not going to be an issue. Also, ray tracing comes into play with the kind of dark areas as well. So do you really want to put yourself at a disadvantage as well in ray tracing? If someone else has got ray tracing off, they're going to have a much higher chance of seeing you in the dark than you are of seeing them. So do you really want to put yourself in a disadvantage there as well? I don't know. I wouldn't. I think ray tracing is truly a cool concept, a cool graphic implementation right now, but I feel like ray tracing is only going to be beneficial in single player, honestly. Especially like horror games, this ray tracing is going to be really impressive, especially if you have certain environments where there's basically no light source and the whole room is pitch black, and you'll have to actually use a torch to look around, and you won't be able to just turn the brightness up to counteract the fact the game is dark in that area. So that's something which comes into play there. I think that's where it will work. But in terms of Call of Duty, fine. If you want to add ray tracing there, it's fine. It's supported, so if you want to add that feature in the single player stuff, you can. If you want to do it in the multiplayer, you can. But do you want to lose the performance there? I don't know. But like I say, this is a really cool feature as well. There will no longer be a season pass for the game, so no like 4 or 5 different map packs with future maps anymore. They've completely scrapped that, so all the future maps and content will be free in the multiplayer. So that's fantastic. This is a big thumbs up. This is a step forward. Battlefield 5 did it, Battlefront 2 has done it, and now Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 has done it. So big thumbs up there, fantastic. If you want to do the cosmetic item stuff and have those as purchasable stuff with COD points, or you know, just in general, just cosmetic items where you want to make your character look cool for a couple of quid, that's okay. I'm fine with that. If it's cosmetic stuff, I don't mind. It's when stuff requires money and it actually breaks the immersion or the game in general, which is a big problem as well. But yeah, fine. Call of Duty's taken a positive approach here in allowing everyone to play all the future content for free, and there'll be other ways for them to be supported, I'm sure, in terms of cosmetic items and stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see till the game comes out. It is coming out on the 25th of October. This game's been in development for 5 years, as I've already stated, so that's a real thumbs up in my opinion. If this has been in the works for so long, then I'm expecting it to be solid. It should be solid mechanically as well. Some really cool things about the story mode as well, though, is you are able to, this is like in horror games, you're able to like push and open doors slowly or as fastly as you want. There's different sort of ways to approach situations as well, which is cool. So a little bit more tactical in that aspect. I could really see this working in the multiplayer as well. If you had a particular game mode where 2 teams are trying to find, say, intel from a unknown location in the area, and they are out, and you have 1 life, and your mission is to find that location, and say it's in the pitch black, so you have to either use torches or night vision as well. Would be really interested to see how that plays out. That's something I could see working quite well. We're not sure exactly how many players will be allowed in the multiplayer. Is this going to be like, say, certain modes where you have 30 or 40 versus 40? Is it going to be a big 80-man sort of scaled war? Who knows? Is this the first time that Call of Duty will actually have more players in the maps? We don't know. Not too sure yet. But we'll have to wait and see. And this is something to definitely keep an eye on. I'm definitely interested in it. I'm not going to be super hyped about it because, like I say, I've not played Call of Duty in a long time. So it's going to take something very special to get me back into the series. But this is a big plus and a step forward, in my opinion. A brand new engine, been worked on for 5 years. And yeah, just seems pretty cool so far. So we'll have to wait and see. 25th of October, but I'm expecting to see this at E3 in basically a few weeks time. Not too far away now, so we don't have to wait long. And yeah, looking forward to it. Once we see any multiplayer or stuff from E3 coverage, I'll definitely talk about it then. And yeah, I'll leave it there. So thanks for watching and listening, guys, and I'll catch you next time.